Okay, hi everyone. I'm Yuen Nguyen, the DAO Facilitator supporting the Cultural and Creative DAO. And joining today with me is Yuen Nguyen. After some time in execution phase, CCD has made a progress and achieved several results across North and Blend. So today we would like to share what DAO has worked so far, some of the key outputs and learning from execution, and where we are heading next. So now let's hear directly from our CCD DAO lead, Mitch, who will walk us through the DAO's projects and achievements. Mitch, over to you.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Can you please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. So, thank you for your time, everyone, for being here. I'm going to be presenting what the DAO for CCD so far has done. So, I apologize if I am not able to be on camera. There are connectivity issues in my location right now. So, next page, please. Just a quick overview. So, the DAO name that we have is Cultural and Creative DAO. And the theme that we have is cultural heritage, creative expression, and community storytelling. The vision that we have for this DAO is to explore how the decentralized creativity can preserve cultural heritage while prototyping regenerative funding models for creative communities. So we wanted to create and share 400 cultural this is an typo. It's not just cultural, or it's cultural and creative expressions that celebrate identity, preserve local traditions, and inspire community storytelling. So the summary of the master plan that we had at the beginning was a global local collaboration across Philippine cultural nodes, which were three of them: the major islands in the Philippines: Luzon, the one up north; Visayas, the one in the middle; and Mindanao, the one down south. And the global collaboration was with the members of the CCD team, which ran from Kenya, Mali, Iran, Vietnam, and the Philippines as well. So we wanted to have 400 verified cultural outputs, and the target would have been 3,000 USD regeneration for the amount. And the summary was community owned knowledge amplified through the documentation, creative production, archiving, and partnerships. Next page, please. Now, just to give a recap of the members that we have, the lead is me, Michelle Andrea, along with DAO facilitators, Duyen and Nguyen, and the lane members for lane A, the stories and culture, Tiba and Casto. I'm not sure if they're online right now. For lane B, creative and archive, Mfon and Glory. Mfon said he will catch up. Lane C is regeneration, which is Jemima and Rafayat. And the floating contributors we had are Egby and Fatma. And they're actually working across different lanes, and they do have the option to step into any lane if they are needed. So the DAO duration was mid-May to September 2026. Next page, please. For the master plan and overview, so that would be impact and or plus regeneration. The impact would have been to produce 400 verified cultural and creative outputs. When we say verified cultural and creative outputs, what do we mean? So it means that the outputs are not just things we take photos of on the street and just say, oh, hey, this is the cultural output. By verified, we mean we obtained consent of the people, the tribes, the chieftains that we were interviewing and documenting. The consent form for Luzon. There was an issue where the chieftains were hesitant to sign physically. So there was the option to just do the thumbprint or to do the video. So that was something we really wanted to make sure we had consent. Now, regeneration. We wanted to generate at least 3,000 USDT. So, working through the three Philippine cultural nodes, as I mentioned, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, we also have site leads or node leads. So, for Tarlac, that is Kawayan Collective Tarlac, led by Diana Prado, and she just pressed on the heart sign. For Visayas, it is Iloilo, led by Maggie. And for Mindanao, it is in Iligan and Bukidnon, led by Balay Kasamtangan's Nikki. So we opted, and Nikki just clicked on the icon. So we document, preserve, amplify, and celebrate cultural knowledge, traditional practices, creative expressions, and lived experiences through a decentralized global local collaboration model. It sounds like such a mouthful, I know, guys, and it sounds like it's so hard to understand. But to make that simple, the experience, the lived experiences or the true experiences of the cultural bearers, the creative and cultural bearers, will be shared to in a global context. So next page, yes, there we go. Um, two for the part two, lanes were actually formed because with so much movement, it cannot just stay in a physical form. We needed to make sure that the other members had a way to not only participate but also contribute. So, Lane A, they were in charge of the stories and culture. So it's owning the end to end and the relationship with the three nodes, capturing the stories, interviews, consent, and turning them into written cultural knowledge. So, what does that mean? So, when the nodes actually pass their output, Lane A collects them, gathers them, makes sure that they are properly formatted and proper for sharing. And the objective of this is the documentation share of the 400 output goal to make sure that the goal is met. Next page, please. By the way, please also let me know if I'm still good on time. Thank you. So for lane B, it is creative and archive. So they own the end-to-end part of turning these documented materials into creative outputs that is available online. Because remember, we are gathering physical things, interviews, photos of textile, photos of weaving, photos of craftsmen doing the bamboo. So Lane B will turn them into posters, infographics, photo essays, video illustrations, and then curating and organizing them into published, searchable, this is very important, searchable, showcase ready collections. And once again, it contributes to the 400 output goal. Next, please. Next page, please. There we go. So for lane C, the regeneration, this is about generating value from the DAO's output without burdening the communities. Because later you will see the photos showing the communities are, some of them are in the mountains, some of them um, our regional partner or our node partner, local partner, had to cross rivers for flooded rivers, and they had to do, how do you call it, 4x4 driving as well. So we don't also want to burden the communities who may not have access to smartphones, who may not have access to internet, for them to actually produce the output. That's why we had the leads for the nodes. So the partner supported workshops, donation based storytelling and circles, prints or zines, and cross DAO paid sessions. The objective is to raise 3,000 USD for this. So we're already looking and gathering and have identified the partners to ensure that we meet the goals. Next page, please.
Hello, Mitch. You only have like 1 minute left,
Oh
so
my
please
gosh.
make it short and sweet. Yeah.
Okay. So please take the time to just look at the timeline and then we go to the next page, please. So our partners have actually done a lot, except that there were weather instances in Luzon, severe weather instances. But we can go to the next page. Mindanao has produced beautiful output as well, which will be put in the museum. I know this doesn't do it justice, but it gives you a teaser. Next page, please. And as you can see, Luzon also has output in the mountains. So this is just a small teaser of what they're going through, showing how the chieftains and the tribes and the local community gather the bamboo for working on it. Next page, please. As you can see, it's a lot of work. Next page, please. So now this is the women weavers in Visayas. The patterns are, I wouldn't say proprietary, but this is native to the Iloilo region or the Visayas region. Next page, please. So the impact and measurement, as you can see, the nodes have already done a lot. The lanes are also turning them into what is needed. We have achieved a significant amount, but we also need to still achieve a significant amount. And all the evidences are in the master files, Google Documents sheets. Next page, please. So the regeneration outcomes are tied to lane A and lane B. So we're still working on that. I'm not going to get on here and say we're already all good. We need to do this. We're double timing it, but um I'm very confident we will meet it. I'm just not confident in the timeline. So just to be honest on it. But I can assure you everyone is doing everything that they can and to the best of their abilities. So thank you guys for your patience. I hope I didn't take too much of your time. Ha. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mitch, for your detail and thoughtful sharing. And now I want to invite Ying and Wing Wing to continue moderate the discussion and share your reflection for CCD.
Okay, thank you, Miss, so much for your presentation. Now we open the floor for a short discussion. For everyone, we would love to hear your first impression of CCD project report, like what stood out to you or what your initial told about the project and each project. For members of CCD, we would also like to hear about your experience working in decentralized way to execute the proposal, like what your experience like working together and what did you learn from the process. Feel free to share your thoughts openly. The floor is yours. Okay, I think that we can start with open to everyone first. Is there anyone want to share your thinking about CTC? Okay. Um, if you would like to share, feel free to raise your hand. We really encourage everyone to take this opportunity to share even a short thought or key takeaway. Mm. CCD member, do you guys want to share something? Mhm.
I think Nikki told me in our conversation earlier that she will be sharing something. I'm just not sure if she has video or audio.
Oh yeah. Nikki is our partner and she gonna share later.
Oh, later,
Okay.
later. Okay.
Yeah. So, uh, if no one want to share, so we move to the next part of the session. Is the DAO facilitator sharing. For my part, I will start with some lesson learned from facilitating the DAO. So for the lesson learned, I think that there are a few things become quite clear to me while facilitating the DAO. The first one is that clear explanation does not always mean that it's really execution. There were several situations where I had already explained the task, the expected output, and what the team need to do. But after that, some members still did not move forward because they felt confused or were not sure about something. And I think that this is an important lesson for me as a facilitator as well. It's not enough to just explain something once and assume that everyone will immediately understand and execute it. So, but at the same time, when something is unclear, members also need to take the initiative to ask. We had situation where someone would say that I didn't really understand, but instead of asking or reaching out, the task would simply stay there and nothing would happen. So I think that the one important lesson is that being confused should be a trigger for communication, not a reason to stop working. So if you don't understand the task, just ask. If you think that the direction is unclear, discuss it with your landowner, DAO lead, or teammate. That is much better than waiting until the next weekly meeting. And the second lesson is about the ownership. We originally had a more top-down way of working, where people are waiting for the DAO lead or someone else to assign tasks, but we move toward the land structure. We realize that this doesn't really work if we want the DAO to move quickly. Each plan needs people who actually understand what they are responsible for and can define their own next step. The third lesson is that North and land communication is very important. The North had the actual cultural information, stories, interview photos, and community contests, while the lands are turning those material into outputs and external opportunity. So if these two sides don't communicate directly, work gets stuck very easily. And finally, I learned that general responsibility is not enough. Saying we are responsible for documentation or like, well, we are responsible for regeneration doesn't tell people that they need to do this week. We need to translate that into something more concrete, like what is the task for this week, who owns it, what is the expected output, and when does it need to be done. I think that this is probably the biggest lesson I took from facilitating the DAO so far. And based on this lesson, I think there are also some areas that we can improve moving forward. So now I will hand it over to Wing Wing, who will share improvements we can make based on this experience. Wing, over to you.
Okay, so I would like to share some improvement that I think that we should take into considerations in the rest period of the execution phase. The first one is that as Ying has shares that if you find something is unclear, you don't understand the task, or you're confused about the materials, please reach out to us, DAO facilitators directly, or other team member in your land in order to understand, clarify the situation rather than delay the task. And secondly, for every plan, I think that when you assign a task, you should assign clearly the owner, deliverable, and also deadline to ensure that every task is delivered in an effective and quality manners. So as we also have the master sheet and the Discord channel, so I think that every important discussions or alignment should happen in the master sheet and the Discord channel, so that everyone understand what is going on and everyone is on the same page. And the next one is that we strongly encourage direct collaboration between landowners and the node instead of waiting for the DAO facilitators to coordinate. If you need some information from the node and vice versa, if the node need more information from the landowner, you guys should collaborate and reach out to each other directly through the Discord channel. And finally, for the rest of the execution phase, I think that every land should report your progress for us regularly so that we can identify any blockers together, and we will support you guys in overcome these blockers. And For the next step, in CCD, in the next week, we will finalize the virtual museum to showcase all of the creative outputs that we have completed. And Lancy Regeneration will continue to connect with partners. And after we have finalized the virtual museum, we will continue to promote for the virtual museum. And Lancy will finalize to secure 2 partners and sponsor for CCD. And for SEP 11 and SEP 25, we will conclude the execution phase and finalize the DAO report. So that is our sharing. I will pass the mic to Chang.